Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the ESG and Sustainable Finance Knowledge Plenary session. My name is Rebecca Abramson. I'm an associate partner at McKinsey & Company, and I'm absolutely delighted to be here chairing this session today. As all good consultants, I'm going to start with anchoring us in a few numbers. McKinsey Global Institute earlier this year published a report estimating the investment required under a net zero scenario. The report showed that a vast $9 trillion is required annually up until 2050 to achieve net zero. Now, this includes some reallocation from high emitting assets to low emitting assets, as well as continued spend. But 1/3 of this, approximately $3.5 trillion, is required, net new capital is required. And this is annually until 2050. To contextualize this, that is essentially double the profits from Fortune 500 companies in a year. So we're talking about a lot of capital that needs to be mobilized. What are we seeing in terms of today in climate finance? We have seen a huge increase in climate finance, particularly between 2020 and 2021, where there was a 30 to 40% increase, approximately from $650 billion to about just under $1 trillion in climate finance. We've seen a dip in 2022 as a result of the broader environment, but ultimately, we're still at best looking at 1/10 of the amount of capital that we need to move into the net zero transition. Now, we don't have time to go into barriers today, but what we do want to look at is the potential for technology to act as an unlock and help with mobilizing capital into the net zero transition and more broadly into sustainable development. And the threads that we're going to be exploring today are around, how do we look at ESG goals more broadly? Whether it's greening blockchain, mobilizing capital in transition, whether it's enabling financial inclusion. And essentially, whilst we've seen, that fintech and sustainability independently can be massive drivers of change for the financial sector, what we haven't seen to date is really much in the way of the intersection of these two. It is developing very rapidly, but it's still very nascent. And with that, I would like to introduce our first speaker for today. I'd like to introduce Anton Rudenklau. Please excuse him, he is also a consultant like myself. Don't hold it against him. Anton is a partner and the global head of FinTech at KPMG. Anton, please join me on the stage. Thank you very much.